What now? Trump has got to fire Rod Rosenstein. That is the absolute key to his survival and to the survival of the marvelous changes he's bringing to this country. Rosenstein deserves firing. 3 times after the initial warrant was given, the FBI sought extension of the warrants approving their surveillance of Carter Page and probably of other Trump people. And they concealed from the FISA court that the dossier they were using as the basis of that request was paid for by the Hillary campaign, was nothing more than a campaign leaflet. And they had the FISA court accept that this was the product of detailed espionage work verified by the FBI. And in case the FISA court didn't buy that, they produced news articles by Michael Isikoff, one of our most famous reporters, almost on a par with Woodward and Bernstein. He's the one who broke the blue dress story in the Lewinsky probe. I get my scandals mixed up. And he wrote a story for Yahoo News that cataloged all the stuff that was in the dossier. And the FBI pretended to the FISA court that this was all original research by Isikoff. And these two great minds, Steele and Isikoff, had come to the same conclusion. Nonsense. Isikoff and Steele met with each other a week before the story was published, and undoubtedly Steele fed Isikoff every word in that story. So Rosenstein deliberately and totally misled the FISA court. And this is no small matter. To spy on Americans, to wiretap Americans, you better have a good case for doing it. And Rosenstein did not, but more importantly, he covered up the stuff that showed that it was a phony case and did not tell the FISA court about it. So you can fire him, and you must. Trump must. First of all, Rosenstein is the only one who can fire Mueller. He's the only one that can tell Mueller, you can do your investigation about what happened when Trump was president, but you can't go into the time when he was just a private citizen holding no public office. There's a limit to the extent to which you can go after obstruction of justice unless you can prove that there's an underlying crime here, and all kinds of stuff that he can do to clip Mueller's wings. He can cut Mueller's budget. He can stop Mueller from convening grand juries. He can do anything like that. And Rosenstein, he can act as the Attorney General after Sessions has, of course, recused himself. And finally, and most importantly, if indeed Mueller is trying to indict Trump for obstruction of justice, that indictment can be drawn up, can be voted by a grand jury, and then it goes to Rosenstein's desk. And Rosenstein, or his successor, has to approve it. That's because Rosenstein was not appointed under the special prosecutor statute that governed Kenneth Starr's behavior back in the 90s. That statute lapsed and was never renewed. Instead, he's working under the statute that permits the Attorney General, or in this case the Deputy, to name and oversee U.S. attorneys. And that requires that any politically sensitive indictment has to first go to the Attorney General, or in this case the Deputy, for review and for approval. So this is the backstop for Trump to make sure that Mueller doesn't go crazy and try to indict him. You can't indict him for the scandal, for the underlying issue, because there's no evidence there. But he might be able to say that firing Comey was an obstruction of justice. Now that takes a trip into the president's mind. You have to figure out why he fired Comey. Was it because he was incompetent? Was it a personality conflict? Was it because he politicized the Bureau hopelessly during the '96 election, electing Hillary, defeating Hillary, electing Hillary? Or was it because he wanted to obstruct justice? And that trip is going to be very hard to prove in a case. But the indictment itself could be very damaging and could lay the basis for an impeachment proceeding in the hands of Democratic partisans. The key to stopping that is Rod Rosenstein. Now, Trump shouldn't have a Saturday Night Massacre where he fires everybody. It should be a surgical strike at Rosenstein, just like he performed it on McCabe and Bruce Orr and Strzok and Page. Just at him for cause. Thanks for watching.